Hello and welcome to Elite Academy. My name is Josh Denny, and Jesse Macpherson and myself get the privilege of going through course number 4, which is Presenting with Purpose.
If this is your first course, we want to welcome you to the program. It is a weekly course. It's a 12-week program, so each week you want to log in here and watch your next course, and when you complete all 12 in a row, you're going to graduate from the Elite Academy, and we're looking forward to recognizing you at one of our up-and-coming events. If you are coming back, welcome back, and congratulations on being consistent, and we look forward to celebrating your graduation as well. So let's dive into it.
You know, when you look at the company as a whole, Jesse, and I was always trying to figure out what's the difference between the people who make massive success and those who don't. Now, there's 3 critical factors to make any organization work. The first is the product. Does the product work?
Yeah.
Of course it does. Does it work the same for everybody?
Yep.
Absolutely. You see the before and after pictures. You hear the stories. The products work. The other factor is the compensation. Are people making money here with Seacret? Answer is absolutely.
Yep.
What's the difference between the person who's making millions of dollars a year and the person who's not making any dollars a year?
Yeah.
And the difference is the third factor, the it factor we like to call it, which is the you factor.
Yeah.
Okay? You're the difference. We know the products work. We know the compensation plan works. The only thing we don't know is whether you're going to work.
Right.
Okay. And look, when you make that decision that hey, I'm going to work, you know what work looks like is 2 things. And only these 2 things. You got to get really good at either getting people to a presentation or doing a presentation. Okay? My whole career, that's all it was. I got good at getting people in front of a presentation until I was confident enough to do the presentation. And this is the difference maker. And that's what today's course is all about, is doing a presentation that works, that's compelling, that gets people excited about what it is you're doing.
Josh, at the beginning of my career, you were so on point because you taught me 2 simple things. You said, listen, Jess, there's only 2 things you need to get good at, which is setting appointments to show people Seacret and showing people Seacret. Now, what most people do when they're confronted with this, and I remember myself included, was that fear that creeps up, like, oh gosh, here we go, like I actually got to go do it. And the fear of messing up or looking bad or what are they going to say or what are they going to think, and all these opinions that end up floating around. And I know, because that was the same experience that I had, which is like, I don't want to do this wrong. And it gets disguised as all kinds of other things, like I need to know everything, which is usually saying, I don't want to mess up.
Right.
I took a philosophy a long time ago that basically said, there's no such thing as failure, only feedback. I would suggest that you borrow that, because the only way you really fail in this business is to stop attempting. Because you're going to be bad before you're good. That's the nature of everything.
Right.
And there are things that were scary a long time ago, like learning to ride a bike or learning to drive a car, things like that, that today you do subconsciously, unconsciously really. And the reason why is because you did it over and over and over and over and over with spaced repetition. So what you want to understand is this. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. So I truly hope that today you make a decision to start presenting. And today, like right now, before we even do the rest of this training, because if you make a decision, say, all right, I'm going to do this, the rest of this training, you're going to take on from a very different perspective than going, that's for somebody else, that's not for me. And course number 4, if you want to go out there and unlock your income much faster, this is about not just giving people fish, it's about teaching people to fish. And when you can go out there and present and present and present, I promise you, you'll never be hungry again.
Presenting is a skill set that changed my life radically.
Yeah.
And it's helped me earn millions of dollars because I was willing to get over the fear.
Yeah.
And I know that's tough. But you know what gets you over the fear, Jesse? Doing it.
Doing it.
And doing it and doing it and doing it and continuing to do it. The fear and that anxiety starts to go down. The knowledge and confidence starts to go up. And this course is specifically designed to give you an outline of how to do that.
Yeah.
Okay? We're going to cover the who, what, when, where, and how to present.
Yeah.
But before you go into those details, or before we go into it rather, you really need to understand why.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what's compelling to all of us.
Right.
Most people don't really care what you're doing or even how you're doing it, but they care why you're doing it. And it's an attractive piece. And Simon Sinek, the author of Start With Why, really drives this point home with why you need to start with why.
All leaders have one thing and one thing only: followers. That's it. That's it. If you're a leader, it means you have followers. It has nothing to do with rank. It has nothing to do with intelligence. It has nothing to do with seniority. If people are willing to follow you, you are a leader. The question is, what's a follower? A follower is somebody who volunteers to go where you want to go. Someone who raises their hand and says, I choose to follow you. We can get people to do all kinds of things using authority. That doesn't make you a leader. A leader is when someone says, I volunteer to go where you're going. The question is, why should anyone follow you? There's only two ways to influence human behavior. You can either manipulate people or you can inspire people. Examples of manipulation in the business world are things like dropping your price. If you drop your price low enough, people will buy from you. We know this. Promotions, 2 for 1, free toy inside. Or if you're in the business-to-business space, we call it value added. The concept is the same. It's giving things away for free to reduce someone's risk so they'll choose you over the competition. And it works. Fear, wonderful manipulator. If any of you are parents, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can scare people into doing all sorts of things. Aspirational messages. We're constantly being told you have to be aspirational. Give people something to aspire to. You can get people to join the gym with an aspirational message, but to get them to work out 3 days a week, that requires a little bit of inspiration. Now, I cannot dispute that these and many other manipulations work. The problem is, none of them breed loyalty. The problem is, none of them create trust. And over the course of time, they cost more money. Someone has to pay for it all. And over the course of time, it increases stress, both for the buyer and for the seller. It is stressful for us to make decisions today. In a world in which manipulation is the norm, where we are bombarded by manipulations from all sides, from all people, trying to get us to do any number of things, whether it's vote for them or buy from them or do something, the question is, how do we choose? What's right for us? It's called stress. We literally have trouble choosing these days. But it's stressful for the sellers as well. In a marketplace where manipulation is the norm, how do we stand out? How do we get heard? How do we find people to follow us? The alternative is inspiration.